Hi, I just put things there, just to show that it's a DC thing. Anyway, so welcome to DC Fan Gives Hope. If you've not tuned into this before, which I doubt, because I really rarely get any new subscribers of yours. But it's basically, this is taken from a Facebook page of the same name, DC Fan Gives Hope, and I just thought to start a YouTube, put in some of my personal feelings. Right, so what's going on with me today, right? As you know, I just got Justice League, right? And it's, I can't wait to put it in, watch all the extras and everything else. Now, see, every time I mention that I've got Justice League, or I'm just about to watch it, or I'm buying it, or whatever, right? There's always somebody there with a wee sad face, right? Or I get a comment, from the Snyder fan club, Hail Snyder and stuff like that, and yeah, the film was okay, yeah, I'm holding out and stuff like that, and and you get to the stage where you just you don't want to comment or answer and reply because I've already made the case for Justice League, and so I just thought I'll make one more. I'll talk about it one more time, just so I know that there's a couple of videos out there, there's a couple of posts out there that sort of explain my action. Right now, as I say, I'm a big DC supporter. Okay, and I started the page after Man of Steel, so I quite like that Zack Snyder's work as well. But if I had to choose between getting DC stuff on the screen or holding out for just Zack Snyder, then I would of course choose DC. I'd rather get anything from DC. Now, we're all aware there's some sort of film that Snyder didn't seem to finish his film, right? Because of what had happened previously before, with BVS not making it, then the Ultimate Edition making things, but still people were dead against it, and of BVS, and it's still up in the air about who likes it, and people's argument was that it never made as much money as it should have. Then people's response to that is, well, maybe they should have got out the Ultimate Edition first, then they would have seen a change, and but again, people would dispute that. So I'm all for looking at it with a positive spin. Okay, yeah, I mean, if we put our hands to our heart, we would have thought the two biggest people on the planet, now the Trinity in that film, that it would have done more than what it did. And yes, we can look at the Zack Snyder as the artist and Warner Brothers as the commercial stuff, and the business side of things, and they've got to show that they're making money. And if you want, you can use the old saying, you can't sacrifice art for money, but sometimes you need to sort of cut both in order for both sides to get the equal share. You've got to have a bit of art, but you also got to make a bit of money. Any artists, their artwork, unless they die, of course, that artwork is not worth much. But when they die, their work goes up in price. Now, I'm not saying Zack Snyder to die for everybody suddenly realise his masterpieces or whatever. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the studio can't rely on what ifs in a year from now on that BVS is suddenly considered a classic. They've got to show that what they're doing just now is profitable for them. They've got to show money, and I've showed on Facebook that the first 5 films of DC movies have has got more money to them than the first 5 Marvel movies. Okay, but again, people will say that for these icons it should have been a lot more, and they've not reached the billion mark or whatever mark somehow some people feel that it needs to reach, but it doesn't. So you get people that are like boycotting buying Justice League, even though now Justice League is, I know I'm going here and there and everywhere. It's just I'm trying to get as much in. But Justice League is we all liked it. The majority of people liked it, right? Even the Snyder fans liked it, but they feel like it's not the masterpiece that they wanted, and yada yada yada. But and this is my case. In order to get any edition or any cut, the studio needs to feel, right, the business side of things, they need to feel like they can make money from it. Okay, and not just people, not just from Snyder fans, okay, or people that sign their petition, right? Because it's still a small minority to spend all that money on making some sort of cut. But what they will do is, if they see a great success with Justice League, the first edition that came out, then they will go and spend it. Now, having Justice League being a bestseller is a good start. To show that Justice, Warner Brothers, in a year or so time or whenever, that not only will this sell to the Snyder fans, but because of the first release of Justice League was so well received, then the vast majority of people on the planet will go and buy it, and just to see what it's like. But if nobody ever bought Justice League, then they'll say, no, why are we bothering buying Justice League? Because nobody bought the first edition, why would they go and buy a second edition? So please, just support DCU. Put all you can, and the thing is, okay, you buy this DVD, right? And when the Snyder Cut comes and you're left with that DVD and you don't really want it anymore and stuff, well, give it to other people and that would love it or hasn't seen it, or people that are a fan of Marvel movies. Then give them that copy of Justice League to keep. Get them into DC. That's what I would do. It's give that, because you wouldn't want to, trade your important Snyder vision, but you would trade your first. The first cut of the movie, the Justice League that the majority of people liked, so you can lend that out to people to get them onto DC. Give that to people that didn't like BVS, okay? And then you go, and so that's it, because some people just don't like Snyder, sadly enough. So that is why we should still just be happy with the Justice League. And as I say, 10 years ago, we wouldn't even know the backstory of what was happening behind the scenes. We would just pay the ticket and watch the film and enjoy it. Sadly, we're in the world of the know, and we all know everything now, which is sad because I think we know too much, especially with trailers and everything else. So the next topic I want to talk about, I've just seen the trailer for the Death of Superman. And yes, you could say you're maybe a wee bit disappointed because the first Superman we got, the first sort of DVD we got was Superman in Doomsday. It was paying homage to the death of Superman, but really it was only sort of homage in that. And the best thing about the DVD was the special edition. It was the special features that talked about the book, The Death of Superman, in the original. So when we first thought, of course, when everybody heard that they were making The Death of Superman, and it's going to be a 1 or 2 parter, people thought, right, it's the comic book come to life. But now it's, by what we've seen in the trailer, it's not. It's something completely different. Again, it's what I can tell, it's something like the New 52 sort of take on it, and instead of sort of the non-major league players like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle or whatever that was involved in the first fight, in the first original Superman versus Doomsday books, we are actually getting the Justice League. Which, if you look in the bright side, is we can actually see them, what would have happened when they first interact with Doomsday that nobody's ever known. Yes, we've seen cartoons where Batman take on with the Amazon women a big horde of Doomsdays, but this was out of the blue. Doomsday comes and they're faced with this menace, and so they're not prepared. That's the way I take it. And so you'll see the importance of Superman. And what I can tell by the extras as well, and yes, Biffo, who was one of the major key players in the sequel, The World Without Superman, he's playing a key role in it, I can tell. And what people were saying, it's more about, you know, the relationships and Superman, you know, embracing the world and everything else that we got from BVS. So that to me is a positive note, and the fact that there's going to be maybe a part 2 to it, which may delve into what happens after the death, is still a good thing, and I would still be looking forward to seeing it, even though it's not the true adaptation of the book. I think we've only really had one big real adaptation. Well, we've had a couple, like Final Frontier, whatever. I would say The Dark Knight Returns was definitely, you know, a really good adaptation of the book. But let us know what you think on this new Death of Superman thing. I think it's still a genuine, a great idea, and it's given us something new. Because sometimes when you're buying the book come to life, you're not actually why am I buying this? I've read the book. I'm just going to see the book pictures moving on the screen. So let us know what you think anyway. And leave your comments down below. Remember, check out the page, DC Fan Gives Hope. Thank you very much.